Alright, boat's back in the garage, so that's all done. I did power wash it, pulled it out and did that. Still got to get all of our stickers off. I did manage to get the steering gear out. That turned into a process, and turned into quite the process. In fact, I had to unfortunately cut the steering wheel off. I could not get that shaft to release off the key. Was breaking the steering wheel even worse, so I ended up just cutting it off. Didn't really matter. This cable's trashed anyway. We're throwing it out, so I didn't really care. I was kind of hoping maybe I could save the box, but that was just no dice. Still some water dripping out of the boat from power washing it. I got it as clean as I could. It was pretty cold out, so I got tired of being splashed. There's a little bit of hand washing I'll have to do in here to get some of the gook off of this thing. But we're going to remove the rest of the gauges. We're going to remove these side pieces off of our trailer so let's have a little more working room. We're going to sand this whole thing, get it cleaned up, and then we'll start the process. I've already dug out the bad piece of the rub rail and trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can get this rub rail anywhere anymore. I've been doing a lot of internet searching, and I'm not finding this shape anywhere from anybody unless I had it custom made, which I am not going to do. But we'll figure out something, whether it's a piece of hard plastic, whether it's a piece of rope, something that we'll put in for this rub rail. I'm not going to take the entire rub rail out, and the rest of it's all good. Started sanding this just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and fill this in with some filler. Same thing everywhere else. Get the boat good and flat again. Throughout, you can see just this is 30 plus years of smashing off of docks, and think places where maybe we didn't have a bumper at the time, whatever. It's just a lot of years of banging around. So we'll get that done. Still debating what to do about the paint scheme. I am going to, by and large, keep it. I never really liked the way it was up here at the bow. I think we may just carry the lines straight out. Might look a little bit nicer. And I think that's it. So on we go. As you can see, most of this is in the rest of this rub rail is all in really good shape. It's just that one spot, which is unfortunate. That did happen during a storm a couple of years ago at the dock. It wasn't abuse. It was just an unfortunate event that had done that. Really severe windstorm had come up and moved the boat back on its lines away from where it was protected and really smashed it off a piece of the dock. So onward. Welcome back. Update time. You can see that we've been sanding away on the Crestliner Dane. Been working pretty hard trying to get some of the scratches out of it and get it down to a nice flat surface. Taking a lot more time with the top and the sides, trying to get this thing ready to go. Going to be we'll be filling in these areas that really got scratched with some body filler. I don't know how well it comes out in the video, but there are definitely some scratches into the aluminum. Certainly nothing you could sand out, so we'll have to put some filler on it to clean them up. This area being the worst of it. In the meantime, we did decide to go ahead and take off our hardware. I'm going to go ahead and do some aluminum polishing, and we'll get it looking chrome. And you can tell by the old green paint that's here. The last time this boat was painted, these things had not come off. They're just bolted on, so it wasn't too hard to get them off. But I was really kind of glad that we took them off and decided to take them off for painting, because what we realized was over many years of stress on this transom, between skiing and just using the boat and whatnot, that the welds had broken on our transom connector to the splash well. They were originally tack welded here and down here, which this whole entire splash well was tack welded in. So we realized that the cap had been cracked, the tack welds were broken. So we went ahead. We have a local hot rod shop that does aluminum welding. I have a welder, but it's set up for steel, and for the amount of time and effort to do this, I just took it over to the rod shop and let them do it, and they did a really nice job. But we had them gusset these in with some flat plate and welded in for us, repaired the corners. This transom now, to be honest with you, is, I think, stronger than it's been. Well, certainly stiffer than it's been since I ever remember the boat, to be honest with you. But it is rock solid now. I also went ahead, since we had gone to the trouble to take off all the hardware in the boat and filled the holes in and repainted. I really, when we go put transducers and that sort of thing back on the boat, I really didn't want to go drilling holes in the transom again. So I asked them to go ahead and weld on a mounting plate for us. So we'll use this as a mounting plate now for transducers or a speed sensor or whatever we want to put here. Had them welded on, so we'll go ahead and do that. Just means I'll be repainting the transom, which, to be honest with you, I don't mind repainting it. This came out a little orange peeled back here, and I wasn't that happy with it. So we'll rough this back up again, sand it flat, and I'll paint the transom along with the rest of the boat when I do it. It should come out really well. So that's where we are. I'm going to continue sanding. I need to sand the interior space. Then we'll get on to the body filler. I think on this boat, I wasn't going to primer the whole thing, but I think there's enough going on here that I'm going to go ahead and end up putting a coat of primer over the whole thing. We'll go ahead and I'll probably use the same method that our friend who did the auto body the last time did. He had painted the sides entirely white and then taped off where he wanted to keep it white, and then sprayed the red. I think that's what I'm going to do too. I have plenty of white left to do this job, so I'll go ahead and probably use that same exact method. I'll do that. We'll paint it over, and then we'll come back and recreate the striping. I am going to move back and forth. You know, for a long time, I've never really liked what he did here with this this angle back up at the bow. He was trying to be fancy at the time. I've never been crazy about it, but I do like the offset that is here. I'd like to keep that pattern. I thought that really looked pretty sharp, but I think we're just going to continue these lines straight. I think I'm going to leave the keel. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave that white. And we'll end the striping right straight into it instead. So this will just come straight across, as will this one, right up to the keel. And I think it'll look really good at that point. And then we're going to, what else are we going to do here? Several coats of clear. I didn't put any clear on the bottom. I don't know that I'm going to bother putting clear on the bottom, but from the splash rail up, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to clear everything really good. And I've been doing a little bit of research on polyurethane based paints and some clears. And I think what we're going to do when we get the burgundy red back on, we're going to go ahead and put some sparkle in it and flake. We'll make it a flake kind of a finish. So I think the red will have flake, and I think it'll look really good. Kind of looking forward to that. So anyway, onward. Kind of boring to watch me sand, even if I did it in some sort of a high speed. So I'll just continue to give updates when we have something worth watching. I'll go ahead and record it.